Welcome to the Predictive Playbook, everyone. I'm excited to have my buddy Dr. Chuck on board here. We're two of the best over at Sportsmemo.com. And that's no kidding around. I'm coming off a 7-1-1 week 3 in college football, and also did quite well in the NFL. I'm ranked number 1 in college football and number 2 overall NFL. Dr. Chuck is ranked a lot even better. He's made his clients $14,000 and more. I think it's like $14,300 just in the last 30 days. So if you guys out there don't get a hold of his subscriptions and mine, then I don't know what to tell you. But we're going to talk football right now. And this is a game that's very intriguing, and it's the Army Cadets. And last game, Christian Anderson ran for 2 touchdowns, passed for another, and Army reached the end zone in the first 6 of its first half possessions. Well, that's not surprising. They were playing Connecticut. 52-21 victory for Army. It was the second straight game Army didn't have to punt the ball. 14 Black Knights had positive rushing yards for a team total of 397, led by Robinson's 84. So in this, we have a perfect 3-0 Army team going up against the hosting a 1-2 Miami of Ohio team from the MAC. And I'll tell you, Dr. Chuck, I like the under quite a bit, and I'm going to tell you exactly why here. It's backed by one of my game angles, and this has gone over the last 5 seasons, 54-20 with 2 pushes. That's 72% winners last 5 seasons. Play under any team against a total, outrushing their opponents by 1.25 or more yards per carry in the season, and coming off a game where they allowed 5.5 or more rushing yards per attempt in the last game. That all sets up really well, I think, for the under bet. Now it's your turn, Dr. Chuck. Where are you going to steer us here on the side?
Well, I love that we're tag teaming the same game here. It's excellent. You and I discussed this a lot, where no matter where you're looking, and a lot of times with me, you're going to get these deep dive, deep tracks type plays here. I'm not the kind of guy that loves to be involved in Penn State Auburn, and love that you love the total in this Miami versus Army game. We're going to be picking on the MAC again like we did last week as Wyoming cruised over Ball State. Army is coming off of a game where they, maybe let UConn do more than they should have. As you said, it was a lot of offense and a lot of scoring, which definitely leads me to think the opposite the next week. But a lot of my aspect on this game is just kind of, penciling in on Saturday and early Sunday morning what I think we're going to be looking at. And I definitely had Army in the 11, 12, 13 range. Circa is the one I'm pumped every Sunday at 2 p.m. in the middle of the 1 o'clock NFL slate when good old Circa is going to lay those lines. And he put up a 7, which is just a spot. He had to go to 8 immediately. And I think this is going to expand even further. Miami's got MAC play looming, and they just can't stop the run. Even with the LIU game taken into account, they're allowing over 5.5 yards per rush. Army's going to, have the ball again for at least 40-20. Miami doesn't do a good job of keeping the ball either, and they just won't be able to stop the run. And Army's defense is a lot better, and this is just much more likely to be a 31-34 to like 13 type game than it is to be anything in the vicinity of a touchdown.
Yeah, I like it quite a bit. I don't see Miami of Ohio being very competitive against this Army team. And to your point, the power ratings I have had Army as a minus 15, right in line with yours. So
very well be half the price
this, right? You could bet this all the way up to 10, and I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't end up there about 9.5.
Yeah.
By game time. So I would definitely recommend betting this sooner rather than later.
Yeah. When the public sees the service academies, they're bored.
Yep.
And I take that into account too. Take into account they're just bored. It's just they're going to run the option. Well, the thing is, Miami can't stop it. So
I love it. So we have 2 plays here, folks. We not recommend parlay them. Parlay just adds more unnecessary risk. We're kind of like straight shooters, as they say. But the under is a play for us, and Dr. Chuck has Army minus the points and probably get to the window sooner rather than later, given the steam move we've seen already in about 24 hours time here. So Dr. Chuck, I love having you on board. He and I are going to do an NFL play later this week, and possibly another college football play since the card is so large for week 4. And maybe we'll get into one of those ranked versus ranked games, kind of like that pathetically officiated Penn State-Auburn game. See, I had to say it. I apologize, but that was just...
That's why we're here picking Army-Miami. Why do you want a ticket in that game?
That's right. I think it's easier to cash the ticket in the Army in this matchup than it was in that Auburn-Penn State game. But anyway, thanks for your time, Chuck. I'll see you again soon. So on behalf of Dr. Chuck, myself, Sportsmemo.com, WagerTalk.com, and the Predictive Playbook shows, may all the wins always be yours.